I'm going to briefly introduce myself for those that don't know me already. I'm Sherry Miles. I like a bit of power and I like a bit of pole. I've been in the fitness game for many years, but my passion lies in talking about how to make your health sustainable for life. This content is just one of the many ways I like to express myself, so enjoy the video. Hey, I'm going to start this with a typical conversation that most fitness professionals have had at some point. Said person comes to you, it's like, hey, just want to get toned, in shape, lose some weight, have a smaller waist. My response, lift heavy weight. Their response, hell no. I just want to get toned, not bulky. So let's get to the point. Lifting doesn't make you bulky or fat. It's actually ridiculous in 2020 that this still needs repeating. The reason this myth is still doing the rounds is because your everyday person conflates strength training, lifting weights, power sports with top athletic figures that you may find in bodybuilding. Now, bodybuilding is a completely different world. Bodybuilders live in a different world to your everyday person who's just trying to get lean or a little bit strong. Your average 5-foot woman, ectomorph, will not turn into a She-Hulk overnight because she starts lifting heavy weights. Same as your average 6-foot guy won't turn into a Kai Green or an Arnie overnight because they've done more than 15 reps on a dumbbell press. It's not going to happen. Yes, there are genetic variations that mean that some people gain more muscle mass than others or more quickly. The truth is, as a woman, it is an irrational fear to believe that you are going to get too bulky by lifting weights. We don't have as much testosterone as men. Therefore, we can lift heavy weights and we can push ourselves. Okay, so what are the 3 things that I recommend that will help people get over this irrational fear? Number 1, doctors and GPs explaining that resistance training, weight bearing load is actually good for the joints and your bones. Put it this way. No one would hesitate if they went to their doctors or their GP and their GP said to them, look, I recommend you improve your cardiovascular health by maybe going for a run, going for a jog, going for long walks. Now, running is obviously very beneficial for your health. Cardiovascular health is very, very important, but also it does have its risks. There are well-known risks with running. Runner's knee, strain on your joints, the impact, pounding on the ground. These are well-known risks, but of course we do it anyway. Doctors and GPs are in this advantage where they can offer advice to the general public to bolster their health. So even with the risks of cardiovascular training, doctors and GPs will still prescribe or recommend it. It's not the same when it comes to lifting weights or strength training. This is an area that could be improved. In my opinion, in their eyes, cardiovascular training has a lot more benefit than risk, and strength training has a lot more risk than benefit. Yes, serious strength training does place a strain on your body, especially if you're a serious athlete, but for your everyday person, the benefits definitely outweigh the risks, if done properly, that is. Of course, technique's very important. Execution is very important, that goes without saying. In summary, there just needs to be a bit more education about how weight training is good for joints and bones. Good for joints and bones, not bad for joints and bones. It can be, like anything, as I said, I gave that running example, but benefit versus risk. Number 2, stop making dumbbells that weigh 0.5 kilos all the way up to 3 kilos. You can pick up everyday items that weigh more than this. You do pick up everyday items that weigh more than that. Your nan picks up everyday items that weigh more than that. In order to get stronger or fitter, you need to have some sort of progression, and in strength training, progressive overload is used to progressively get you stronger. Progressive overload should start at weights that are mildly challenging. If you're going to the gym to lift weights that are less than your handbag that you've been carrying around all day, that's not going to cut it. Your body adapts, therefore you need to adapt your training to improve. I can guarantee that your handbag or your man bag weighs more than a 0.5 kilo dumbbell. Now for plates, these fractional increases such as 0.5, 1, etc. are necessary, of course, but dumbbells, why? Maybe on a generic level, we just need to teach people that they are stronger than they think they are, and we need to teach people that they need to progressively overload, which means lifting something heavier than they do every day. Lifting something heavier than their mobile phone, lifting something heavier than their 500ml water bottle, lifting something heavier than their 1 litre water bottle, which is 1 kilo. And don't get me started on pink dumbbells. Speaking of pink dumbbells, that leads me nicely onto my final point 3, which is see through all the BS workout names and phrases. Ab sculpt, fat melt, kill your bingo wings, spot reduction, beach body ready. This is all marketing that plays on your insecurities. You're more likely to believe a concept if you can relate to it. I mean, who doesn't want their fat to magically disappear? But you can't choose where you lose weight from. You can't choose where you lose weight from. See past the marketing. If you're looking to get fit, get lean, lose weight, etc., etc., the science says, and common sense says, balanced diet and exercise. There's no magic pill. So to wrap this up, I want to talk EPOC. It's a physiological effect. It's excess post-exercise oxygen consumption. It's the amount of oxygen required to get your body back to its normal metabolic function, which is homeostasis, just normal body function. Once you're back in your daily routine, your body's metabolism can continue to burn calories more than it did when you were resting. So let me explain EPOC in the most basic terms, using my example of cooking an egg. So what happens to your eggs when you take them off the heat at the end of the cooking process? They're still cooking and they're still hot and remain warm for a period of time. Same thing happens to you when you exercise. Similar to how your cooked egg remains warm after being taken off the heat, once a workout is over and you're back to your normal non-exercising routine, your body's metabolism can continue to burn more calories because the amount of oxygen used to restore your body back to the normal metabolic function. This explains how your body can continue to burn calories long after you've finished your workout. Essentially, your egg remains warm afterwards without the fire. So why am I telling you this? Because it's relevant to strength training, resistance training, lifting heavy. There's a study, a really old one now, 93, by a dude called Melby. This study compared pre and post exercise EPOC after intense resistance training. 2 hours after training, EPOC increased 11 to 12%. And 15 hours after, EPOC was still raised at 9.4%. So in summary, lifting weights actually raises post-exercise metabolic rate for a prolonged period of time, longer than cardiovascular. So the benefits are vast. So to wrap it all up, let's stop saying, I just want to get toned and not bulky and not big, because in reality, this won't happen. Lifting weights will actually help you lose weight and have a better body composition, meaning less fat, more muscles, which means you burn calories for longer. Win-win. Lifting weights is good.